right, it is a big weekend, guys. We have a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you like that. That was a blast to have. They told me a while ago, like, hey, Jordan's going to sing a song. I'm like, the drummer? Does he even do that? Turns out he does. By the way, I thought he did a great job. I was like, why don't you sing more? He's like, well, it's kind of hard to play the drums and sing. I'm like, don't cop out on us now, bro. Like, we know you can sing now. And then they told me that my wife, that Amber, is going to play the drums. I'm like, she does what now? This is new. They're acquiring new skills and all kinds of stuff. That was legit. Hey, I don't know why you're here today. You could be here for a variety of reasons. Like, some of you are here because you heard that we're going to talk about football and have some fun and wear jerseys, which, by the way, does anybody recognize my jersey today? Okay, a few of you chosen people. Some people are like, is that a Broncos jersey? Shame on you. This is Mud Dogs Nation up here, okay? Baba Boucher? Anyway, sorry. H2O is bad. Sorry, okay. We'll jump back into it here. Some of you are here because you heard us and we were talking about football. Others of you guys are here because, like, you heard we were having like hot dogs and popcorn and Gatorade. Some of you guys are here because maybe somebody promised you some fun, so you came to church today. I'm glad that all of you are here. Some of you are actually here because you're like, hey, this is just normal church day. You walked in, you're like, what the heck did I walk into? This is something we do every year. What we do up here is fairly normal today. A little bit of mine's a little bit different, but this is fairly normal in here. But on Super Bowl weekend, every year we do this event. This is like this one time a year, all the time. And there's something that happens. Why are we doing that? Because there's something that happens on every single Super Bowl that I've ever remembered. There's a game, but let's be honest, most people don't remember the game so much afterwards. Like, some of you guys don't even know there's a game today or that there's people playing or who's playing, right? Some of you guys know is what it is and all that fun stuff. But there's one thing that most people remember, and it's not the plays that are called, it's the commercial breaks, right? Like, we remember those commercials. I still remember commercials from when I was a kid that I watched, but I can barely remember the games that I watched, right? And so these commercials, what we do, why do we remember them so much? It's because millions and millions of dollars are spent on 30 seconds, on a minuscule 30 seconds of time, and they're all fighting for something. It's your attention, your emotion, your imagination. They're trying to captivate you and capture your bank account, right? That's what everything kind of points towards for these commercials. So today, we're going to do something a little bit different than probably what most folks think about when they walk into church, different than what they expect when they walk into church. It's like this. Jesus often taught, when he was walking around earth, he would teach in these little clumps of time, these little small short stories. And when he taught in these stories, they're called parables. Carrie mentioned it in that video a second ago, but really what they were doing is they were stories from everyday life, things that you would be familiar with. He would be like talking, he'd be like, hey, there's this, and then he would use those stories to reveal these normal everyday moments, to reveal a spiritual truth, something that was not hidden, just you didn't think about it that way before. He would be like talking, like, hey, so there's this guy, and he had some seeds, and here's what happened when he had the seeds. He threw them on the ground, and this is what happened. And he would use that to talk about a spiritual truth. And there was seeds and farmers and vines, and there was, here's some coins, here's a guy with some sheep, here's fishermen, all of these things. And today I'm going to try to do a similar thing with a modern twist. I'm not going to talk about farmers and seeds and all that. What we're going to do is watch a few commercials, and then I'm going to try to take those everyday stories and use that to uncover some truth about life that God maybe just wanted to teach you today. So whether you're watching online or you're here in person, that's kind of my goal today, is to uncover truth that you can actually use in your life. And then hopefully through watching these commercials, you learn how we do this. And then when you're watching commercials, when you're watching shows, when you're watching different things, you can start to see a truth that lives just under the surface sometimes. That's not the normal everyday thing that you see. So we call this 30-second theology, and that's what we're going to jump into today. Today I've got 5 commercials, 5 truths, 5, like I call them micro messages. So 5 different messages that we're going to tie together as we kind of go through, and it's a lot to take in. We go rapid fire, we go a lot. It's 5 different talks that we kind of go through, and it can kind of feel overwhelming. So I don't want you to walk out of here feeling overwhelmed today. Here's my challenge for you. find one. Find one of these truths, one of these micro messages that you'll know and own, that you can take home with you, that God's going to use to speak into your life and change what's going on. Don't try to figure out all 5. Just listen for your one. Ask God to give you your one. Does that sound like a plan? Cool. So if you're ready, if you're watching online, go ahead and type "I'm ready" online. If you're in this room, just go ahead and shout "I'm ready." All right, let's go. Commercial number 1. Maybe.
I'm the voice inside your head. And while you're typically athletic, right now, you're pathetic. Rick. And once you start listening to me, it's going to be hard to stop. Shank. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost of this could hit you out of nowhere. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem like me.
That is the voice of mayhem, right? And that's a funny series of commercials. We picked out that one. There's a funny series that's there. And I think they're all kind of funny and going through it, but there's a brutally serious message buried in that one. And here's the truth. No one talks to you more than you talk to yourself. No one says as many things to you throughout your day, throughout your week, or your life. No one says more to you than you say to yourself. And some of you know exactly how that voice of mayhem sounds in your life. It says things like, "You're not good enough. You're always going to mess this up. You're always screw this up. You can never get this right. You're always going to be a failure. If people knew you, they wouldn't love you. They wouldn't like you. They'd never invite you. They only invite you or have you around because of whatever that is." And then your voice says things like, "You'll never change. You'll never be different. You can't beat this. You can't." And if that's what we're speaking to ourselves, it's no wonder the voice of mayhem shows up. And we got to ask ourselves, so if that's what we say to ourselves, what does the Bible tell us? What does the Bible say about self-thought? I mean, the Bible, honestly, it tells us that the enemy, he doesn't need to destroy your life with an atom bomb. He doesn't need to drop a giant nuclear bomb in your life to destroy your life. The only thing he needs to do is distort your thinking and start changing how you think about yourself by whispering lies into your ear. This is warfare, guys. And our enemy, his target is not this giant catastrophic thing in your life. It's your mind. It's your thoughts. And with this being warfare, I believe his most accurate weapon, his sniper rifle, so to speak, is lies. It's lies that are just shot directly at you. He targets you. And ironically, his number one weapon is lies. So what do we do about it? How do we combat that? If lies are the weapon, what's the defense? Truth, right? Truth. If the weapon is lies, truth is it. So you've got to learn to identify the lie and replace it with truth. Identify the lie and let God replace it with his truth, not your truth. That's not a real thing, but God's truth. Paul tells us in the book of Second Corinthians. It's going to be in chapter 10, verse 3 through 5. And by the way, if you got a Bible and you want to keep up with me today, you're more than welcome to. But I'm going to be flying through some stuff. It'll always be on the screens, and you can have that. But here we go. Verse 3. You ready? Verse 3 says this. "For although we live in the flesh," that's our body, our person form, right? "Although we live in the flesh, we do not wage war according to the flesh. Since the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh." Remember, his number one weapon isn't to attack you body-wise. It is not that. But it says not the weapons are not of the flesh, but are powerful through God for the demolition of strongholds, for the lies that you tell yourself. We demolish arguments and every proud thing that is raised up against the knowledge of God, and we take every thought, what? Captive to obey Christ. Listen, when the voice lies to you, when he speaks to you, you don't find middle ground. You don't find middle ground. You don't negotiate with it. We don't negotiate with emotional or spiritual terrorism, right? We fight them. You've got to gear up for battle. We declare war on our enemy. And how do we do that? We start with naming the lies that he's speaking to you. You name it. That's not my voice. That's not my God's voice. That's not my future. That's not who I'm going to be. And you replace it with truth, not your truth, but God's truth. what's real, what substance, what can change. God's truth can change us. So when that lie gets shot across our bow and it enters into your thought process and into your mind, things like you'll never be free. You've got to replace that with what Jesus says, which is in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 36. He says, so if the Son sets you free, you really will be free. When the lie says nothing's ever going to change, God says, Philippians chapter 1, verse 6, he who started a good work in you will carry it on to completion. When the lie says God has abandoned you, you're not worth it, and you'll never come back for you, that you're alone in this, God says in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5, that he who started a good work in you, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5, I will never leave you or abandon you. Some of you, this is your one message today. Right out of the gate is to learn to recognize the enemy's voice versus God's voice. God is for you. He's not against you. He wants to see you succeed and grow. And your one is to learn the voice of the enemy and learn the mental attack and mayhem that he brings to your mind. And learn the voice of Jesus because he sets you free through his truth. You have to show up, and you've got to get ready for this. You've got to show up to the battlefield. You can't phone this in. You can't negotiate with it. Like, well, maybe this. Maybe. No. Annihilate it. Attack it. It is your battleground. Some of you, that is your one to realize that the battle is not around you out here. It is in here, between your ears. It is in your mind. We have to identify that lie, replace it with his truth, and get ready because this next one's going to have you having prime-sized dreams.
Now, let me tell y'all something about dreams. Listen up, because this is something I found out a long time ago that goes against everything you see in a movie, on TV, or what your great-grandma may have told you when you were a kid. See, dreams don't happen overnight. That ain't how it works. See, they come to you in the daylight. You got to be awake. Because, baby, you got to run dreams down. See, that chase is what we learn the most about ourselves. To take that extra step, that extra mile, that extra rep. Now look here. You don't never know how long it's gonna take or exactly what it'll look like when you get there. The only thing you know is you can never stop. So, question time. What's your dream? Are you willing to do what it takes to make that dream a reality? No. See, not while you're sleeping, but every darn day you wake up. Because if it does, good morning. Now give me my darn theme music.
That's a darn good one, isn't it? That's life. That's dreams. And it hits hard every time. Because in our culture, we become obsessed with instant results, with fast technology, with viral moments and overnight successes and microwave speed. That's what we want in our life. Excuse me. That's not normally how God works. He doesn't work at the speed of light. He works at the speed of life. And that's usually way slower than what we want to see happen. God is less microwave Hot Pockets and more slow smoked, deep smoke circle barbecue. He is a long, slow process that is delicious when it's done, but it takes you 3 days to cook that brisket. The microwave brisket, terrible idea, right? We live in a world where we get to see outcome. We see the results of what someone's been cooking in their life for a long time. And we want those results. We want the immediate results that we see, not knowing what it took to get there. Things like we want a strong Christian family with kids who follow Jesus and a life that follows Jesus and a wife that honors us and a husband that is respectable. We want all of these things. We want those results. But what you don't see is behind the scenes, all the grind that it took that family that you look up to get there. Nobody sees the early morning prayers when the dad or the mom or the kids woke up before sunrise to pray. No one sees the late night obedience in trusting and following God. Nobody saw the days that they wanted to quit. This weekend, I was with a group of pastors, not this weekend, this last week, I was with a group of pastors. We were down in Phoenix helping each other and learning and growing and talking to some other pastors. It was a great time. But one of the pastors, a guy who I love, who I respect, who has great kids, who has a good wife, who has a good life, he's a good pastor. He said, Justin, this last year has been so hard on me. I've quit 20 times on Sunday after church and rehired myself by Monday morning. Because that's what it is. No one sees the grind behind everything, the pain, the struggle, the hurt. But everybody wants the results of the life that he lives. It's like this. In the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, Paul says this: let us not get tired of doing what? What is good. Let us not get tired of doing what is good, for we will reap at the proper time if we don't give up. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say we will reap 30 seconds when you hit the button and it beeps. That's not what it says. We will reap if you're talented enough. We will reap if it's easy. It says we will reap the reward if you don't give up. If you don't give up. Somebody here needs to hear this right now. Listen, don't despise the grind, because that's what will refine you. That's what will grow you. That's what will get you to where you want to go. You can't microwave your life. It is the faithfulness in the unseen that produces the results that can't be denied later. I can tell you right now, guys, if God called you to do it, he will carry you through it. He will keep moving you, and that might be your one. Don't quit. Don't give up before it's ready. If your life is broken, I promise you, you did not break it in an instant, and you won't fix it that way either. There's so many times as a pastor that I'll get a call in the middle of the night. I'll get a call at 2 a.m. because life broke. That she left, he left, that Pastor, I can't believe I just did this, and they'll go through a sin they just did, or whatever that is. I'm telling you, it won't get fixed then. It's not an easy button. Some of you guys showed up to church maybe today, maybe last week, and you expected your life to get magically better because you woke up and went to a building on Sunday morning. That won't get your life better. What will get your life better is the consistency to keep chasing it, continuing to grind. I'm telling you, a crockpot life, man, crockpot in your life, yeah, it takes longer, but it produces something absolutely amazing. I went to this house one time for dinner. They invited me over and was like, hey, come over for dinner. I'm like, cool, let's do this. It'll be, by the way, they're not in here, so it's not any of you guys. It was back in Kansas. But they invited me over. I went over for dinner, and I'm like, hey, what'd you make today? They're like, oh, I'm making chicken. I'm like, cool. Making being the key word here of how they did that. I was there with them. They took chicken out of the refrigerator, put it on a plate, no seasoning, and threw it in the microwave. I don't think they even like me, really. They microwaved chicken. It was the worst thing I've probably had when it came to, which is a lot of statement on there. What would have been better, throw that joker in a crock pot 4 hours ago, throw some barbecue sauces and seasoning on that, and it'd have been delicious. But no. We want the results without the effort. So I'm telling you, you can do a crock pot life, you can do that microwave life, which will make it uneditable, or you can have a pressure cooker turned into a fryer, which is tasty, but dangerous. Check this one out.
Story goes that after searching for years, it was a fever dream and a chicken that finally led Colonel Sanders to the 11th herb and spice. He knew his chicken would be famous if he could perfect frying it in hot oil under intense pressure, which is as dangerous as it sounds.
Smart.
No, it wasn't. But the man was stubborn.
I really thought it would explode.
And soon he was serving his chicken around the country. If anyone tried to copy his recipe,
you cannot trademark flavor.
He served them his fist. And if the gravy wasn't made to his standard, he thought that too.
I'll get the mop.
Sure, this may all seem a little obsessive, but the Colonel lived so we could chicken.
Harlan Sanders didn't really develop Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was 65 years old. Before that, before he became the Colonel, he was just Harlan. He had over 1,000 rejections, but he didn't stop. Why did he keep going? I mean, he kept going when so many of us in this room would have stopped. He didn't quit. Why? I mean, it wasn't because it made sense to keep going. I mean, he was like, I don't know if he was cooking meth or chicken. He was like blowing stuff up and all kinds of stuff, right? It didn't make sense, but what was he? Obsessed. obsessed with the result that he was striving for, obsessed with having his purpose fulfilled. Here's what I've learned. People will cheer on your passion, but they will try to kill your obsession. People will cheer on you when you're passionate about something, but when you obsess about it, when you obsess about your purpose, they will try to kill that. They'll mask it with thoughts and sayings and things and conversation like, be realistic, be reasonable. Can you just be normal? But I can say this, being normal never changed the world. Furthermore, Jesus didn't call you to have a reasonable, normal faith. Just check out what Paul says in the book of Colossians, in chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. He says this, whatever you do, do it from the heart, as something done, not for yourself, but for the Lord and not for other people. We shouldn't be obsessed with working for things on this globe that'll stay here with your 401k, your bank account, your career. You shouldn't be obsessed with working for people, not for things of this world. We should be obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with the mission and the purpose of Jesus. Obsessed with people exploring faith, discovering their purpose, finding people, and knowing God. That's what we should be obsessed about. Listen, Pastor, that sounds a little bit extreme. Yeah, because it is. That sounds unsafe. Yes. We have this weird thought in American culture where Christianity is supposed to be safe. It's never meant to be that way. If you read through the Bible, the disciples weren't safe. Jesus wasn't safe. Jesus was obsessed with living the mission that God gave him to come here, with seeking the lost, with loving the broken, and building the church, with changing the world from that moment. And he invites you and I to do the exact same thing, to live obsessed with his mission, to live that direction. And for some of you, that means you need to get obsessed about your marriage. You need to get obsessed about your purity, obsessed with your calling, obsessed over people that God has placed around you as you work with them and grow them. If God called you to it, I can promise you, church, if you give him your whole effort and get obsessed with that mission, he will see it through. That might have been your one. That was almost your one just a second ago. And for others, this one might be you.
When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this.
Welcome.
When there's no complaining, there'll be days like this. Everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you need to worry,
Dada, I got you breakfast.
like and all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit you. I must remember there'll be days like this.
Good morning, good morning.
This way is way faster. Good morning.
My mama told me there'll be days.
Sure, Uber says we'll be there. But the truth is, God said it first. Because life's most important moments, most meaningful moments, most impactful moments, they don't happen through screens. They happen through presence and experiences together. Too often we're at home on the couch, everybody's on a different device scrolling. Some of you, you're watching online today, not because you were far away and couldn't be here. We got lots of people who watch in Denton, Texas, and Arkansas, and all other places. And I love you guys for being there. But some of you are at home in bed because you just chose to not be here with their presence. I'm not knocking that. You can be there however you need to. But presence matters. Your presence in your family matters. The 80 hours you're working a week don't matter. Your family's development and growth matter. The book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24, it says this: let us consider one another in order to provoke love and good works, not neglecting to gather together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging each other. I've heard that verse preached 1,000 times in my life about you should be at church, you should come to church, you got to be at church. And that's accurate. Like if you consider yourself a believer in Christ, you should be at church. If this church isn't for you, I get it. We're not everybody's cup of tea. I will gladly help you find another church if this isn't it for you, but you should be involved in church. Well, my faith is a private matter. That's a whole different thing. That's not according to Scripture, right? The Bible never says your faith is a private matter. But a lot of us live out our life. Whether we come here or not, we show up on Sunday morning, you come, you go to work, you go home, and you never interact with anybody other than those settings. You live in isolation. Guys, we were not built, we were not created, we were not made for isolation. Loneliness is a real issue. Can I tell you, I sit in my men's group. By the way, if you're a man, like we'd love to, like, dude, if you want to come, Wednesday nights, it's a blast. We have fun, like come show up on that. But we live, whether it's men or women, we live in isolation. We don't have people we talk to. We don't have community. We don't have connections. You come here, you show up at church, you don't serve with anybody, you don't talk to anybody, you run right out the doors, you don't spend time in life groups with anybody. And I'm gonna tell you, something that I hope you hear from this church so much that you get sick and tired of hearing it is this statement. If you've been around for a while, you've heard this, I promise you. But it's a statement that lone wolves die. And because we believe that. Like if you're alone by yourself, you will not continue on. At some point in time, you will hit a barker and you will not be able to cross that. Lone wolves die. Why? Because when you fall, when life happens, because life will happen. It's not a matter of if life's going to break on you. It's when life will break. When life's storm hits, if no one's there to help you, you have no one to help pick you back up when you fall. Whether that's emotionally or physically, there's no one there with you. Lone wolves die because there's no pack to survive with. Some of you feel lonely. Real lonely. And can I be bluntly honest with you? It's not because nobody cares. It's not because no one loves you. It's not because no one wants you around. It's because you stopped showing up in other people's lives. It's because you stopped going to where people, yes, they stopped calling. Yes, they stopped doing that, but so did you. And somebody has to move first. Somebody's got to take the first step. And it might as well be you. You stop showing up in families' lives. You stop showing up in your kids' lives. You stop showing up in your spouse's life. You live together, but at best, you're terrible roommates. You stopped showing up. Today, your one thing might be show up. Show up. Show up and get in a life group. There's a black mountain in the lobby. On that mountain, there's QR codes you can scan to get involved into a life group. Show up on Sunday mornings and serve with somebody. Serve in kids ministry. We need more healthy, strong adults. Men and women gravitate towards kids. Men, you don't because you think it's women's work. But there's kids like my kids, there's your kids that are in there that need to know strong, healthy men love Jesus too. Trey's up here. I see Trey up here. Trey, I love you. Like he is so. Listen, can I tell you? I got a son that was over there. He's out of that age group now. But he loved it when there was men back there that were rough and tumble and hung out with him. I think he's choked Trey out like twice. He shouldn't. We talked about that. We're not choking each other out anymore. But like there's things that happen. But we need strong men who will serve over there. We need strong, steady, safe women who will be over there with the kids. We need people that show up and help serve in coffee and serve on the tech team and serve in other areas that are there. Why? Because when you serve together, it's not about serving the church as much as it is getting together in groups of people and spending time together. There's less loneliness when you come to church and people count on you. So some of you got to show up and serve. I could rattle off all like tech team, serve team, clean team. There's all kinds of teams you can jump into, but some of you need to show up to serve. Others of you need to show up and let someone step into your life. Sure, I get it, tough guy. You can survive lonely for a while. You can survive alone, like men especially. I don't know, like I wasn't raised a woman, so I have no idea what that's like. But men, a lot of us were raised that you don't need anybody. Be in isolation, be a pillar, be a silo. Don't let anybody in. It's not safe when you let somebody in, so stand strong on your own. Listen, you can survive that for a season, but you were not created. You were not built to do life alone. Show up and find a pack of guys to hang out with, to laugh with, to make fun of each other with, to lean on, to serve with, to do life together. I'm telling you flat out, your presence will change everything. Your presence will change everything. And some of you, that's your one. That's your one. Some of you struggle with that self-talk, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more after this one.
All right, ready, guys? You guys gotta be loud, though, okay? Hey, let's go! Let's go! Okay, repeat after me.
Yes, sir.
I am
Somebody.
I may be young, but I am somebody. I may be small, but I am.
Somebody.
My clothes are different. My face is different.
My face is different.
My hair is different.
My hair is different.
But I am. Somebody.
Somebody.
I must be respected.
I must be respected.
Protected.
Protected.
Never rejected.
Never rejected.
But I
I am.
Somebody.
Somebody.
I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody.
Somebody.
It gets me every time. Through prepping for this, through watching that, it charges me up and brings me down. That means something. The reason it means something is because so many people, they don't feel like a somebody. They don't feel like they matter. Not only do they not feel like a somebody, they really feel like a nobody. Some of you guys, you go to school and you feel like a nobody. You go to work and you feel like a nobody. You go to your house with your family and you hide somewhere in your home and you feel like a nobody. You go to family events and you feel like a nobody. You're at the store and you feel like you're a nobody. There's so many times that we feel like a nobody, and the majority of that time is because, just like the first commercial we heard, we listen to those voices of mayhem who speak negatively into who we are. And we listen to that, and we hear those lies, and we believe those lies, and we learn to grow up in a way that you're a nobody. But hear me out. You are not who others say you are. You are not who everybody else says you are. Not who your past says you are. You are an echo of that, but that is gone. That is not who you are today. It doesn't get to define you. Who you are is who God says you are. And if you don't know who that is, we better define that right now, because in the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 1, it says this: see what great love the Father has given us, that we should be called God's children, and we are. And then the Bible tells us in the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 7, that in him we have redemption through his blood and forgiveness of our trespasses. We are forgiven. And 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17 says, if anyone, not someone, anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. That's all nice and neat, Pastor. That's great to hear. But what does that even mean? That means if you are a follower of Jesus, if you believe that he is who he says he is, that he can do everything he promised to do, that he gets to define you. Stop taking back and trying to define your identity. Stop trying to define who you are. Stop trying to define what you think you should be, and learn who God says you are. Because he gets to define that. He's going to do everything within you that he promised to do, and you can stand on that. You can declare that. You can lean into that so much that if God moves, you fall, because he's unmovable and he will not change for you. I am a child of God. You are a child of God. Your sins are forgiven. I have been made new. God has chosen me. God has called me. You have to speak to yourself, because nobody, like we talked at the beginning, nobody ever says more to you than you do. So who am I? Through him, I am loved. I am sent. I am secure. I am not who others say I am. I am not who anybody else says I am. I am who God says I am. I am somebody because he is not anybody. Some of you, that is your one. You need to know and own that God gets to shape you. God is the potter. He molds you, grows you, and gives you your identity and your purpose, and discover that. And for some of you, that is very challenging, but it can be done. Because we go through all of these today, they all, hopefully you figured out, they all weave together in a direction for your life. Take one, take all of them. But I want you to take one home. That's the goal. That's the goal. Identify the lies that are being spoken over you, that you're starting to believe. The second one we talked about was to stay faithful, to stay consistent to what God has called you to do. That's not going to happen overnight. What about obsessing with purpose with Colonel Sanders? Maybe that was your one. We have to obsess about the purpose that God gave you with his mission and his purpose for your life. The next one is just keep showing up. Stay consistent. Be there. Your presence matters. Don't check out on your friends. Don't check out on your family. Don't check out on yourself. When you do that, the last one can happen as well. You can step into your identity of who he says you are, of who he speaks into your life. So my question is, which one is it for you? Let's bow our heads and pray today. God, thank you. Thank you for defining who we are. Thank you for giving us the ability to discover your purpose, to explore faith in what it means to follow you and trust you, to grow consistently with you. God, help us to stay on track with your mission, to live our lives dedicated to you. God, hopefully that we can all lean closer into you. God, right now, press into each and every one in this room and watching online. What is our one? What's the one thing you want to take away today? That you want each and every one of us, I believe it's going to be different and separate today. With your heads bowed and your eyes still closed, I just want to pray over everybody as we kind of go through. And I'm curious what I'm praying for as I go through. If you're one today, if your one was the voices of mayhem, you need to stop, you need to identify the lies. If that was you, would you raise your hand? I want to pray over you. Hands all over the room. I see him. I see you, ma'am. I see you, ma'am. I see you up front, ma'am. I see you in the back, all over the room. If your one was to stay faithful, to continue chasing your dream, to not crockpot, not to want immediate results, if that was you, would you raise your hand? I want to connect with you. I see you. I see you all over the room. All over the room. Slow and steady. If your one was to get obsessed with God's purpose for your life, with his mission for your life, if that was your one, would you raise your hand? I'm going to get upset. I see you, sir. I see you. I see you, sir. Maybe your one was to be there, to be present, to be engaged, to experience life with each other. If that was your one, would you raise your hand? All over. Wow. All over, from the back to the front, all the sides. Awesome. Awesome. If your one was to remember that you are somebody, if that was you and your one is to remember you are somebody and you matter, would you raise your hand? I see them all over. Wow. Man, that's amazing. God, I want to pray over everybody who put their hand up, who can identify one or multiple of them, that you are directing into their life. God, give them the courage to keep chasing you, not only when it's easy, but to continually, consistently make choices that chase you, to give into you, that make their life better because of how you're growing and shaping and identifying us. God, help us to be there for each other, with each other, to stand strong in the gaps, to grow together. God, as we go through all of that, I can't help but think there's one more in here. As we're still praying, maybe there's some of you in here or watching online, and you're one. Yeah, you got a commercial you picked out, but you're in here going, I don't know if I even know God. And you're realizing as we've been sitting in here, you're watching online, you're logging in, and you're seeing that you don't know where you stand with God. Like you're hearing me talk about things, and you're hearing about Jesus, that if you believe he is who he says he is, you're like, I think I didn't get that before, but I get that now. Like that's anchoring into your core, into your life right now. Maybe that's you. Let me just speak into who Jesus is real quick. He is exactly who he says he is. And who did he say he is? The Son of God. That he lived without sin, that he died in your place, and that he rose again to beat death so that you and I could be forgiven and be made brand new. Today, for some of you, this isn't about picking a commercial. It's about you surrendering to the one, the only King Jesus. And today can be your day that you go all in, telling God that you believe he is who he says he is, and everything he promised to do, that you have no other gods before him, that he is your one and your only, and you're putting your full faith and trust in him through Jesus alone. If that's you, with nobody else paying attention, just me, just you. If that's you, whether you're watching online or you're in this room, if you're watching online, type my life. Just type my life because you're giving that to Jesus today. If you're in this room and that's you and you want to choose to follow Jesus today, if that's you and you're accepting him for the first time, would you raise your hand? Would you look me in the eye? I want to see you. I see you, man. Anybody else? Today is my day. I'm choosing to follow him. I see you. Amazing. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through what it means to choose and follow Jesus. Now, this is your choice. This isn't a magic spell. It's not an incantation. There's nothing that we're manifesting within this. This is just me leading you, showing you how to pray. That's it. And what I mean by prayer is it's just you telling Jesus what you already feel. And I'll walk through that prayer. And I'm going to ask you if that's you today and you really mean that in your life, to pray something bold. And that's pray out loud. And that's scary when I say that. It's super scary. But here's the thing. The people that call this church their church, the Exhibition locals, they're locals here, they're going to pray out loud with you because we believe that no one, and we mean absolutely no one, should fight this fight alone. You're going to realize you have a pack of people waiting for you and fighting with you as they pray alongside you as you find Jesus today. So that's you. You're going to pray this out loud with me, and locals pray this with me out loud as well. Pray, Heavenly Father, forgive my sins. Cleanse my mistakes. Make me brand new. Fill me with your Holy Ghost so I can know you. So I can know you deeply. So I can do your will on earth. Thank you for forgiveness and new life. Help me discover my purpose on earth. Help me make you known. I give you my life. Through Jesus I pray. Amen. Let's celebrate that right now, because I tell you, as we celebrate and worship God, when those moments happen, that never, let's never assume that's a normal thing, because it's not a normal thing. It's not at all. And if you're new at Expedition, I want you to do one thing. If you want to connect with us, is it always like this? Kinda. Not quite as many micro messages, not as much like hot dogs and popcorn and stuff out there. But we do this every week, and we would love to connect with you. If you want to connect with us, get a little more information, be able to ask some questions, hang out, get some questions answered, talk a little bit, we've got a church survival kit for you in this box. I'm not going to show you what's in here, but it's really cool. I will tell you there's a couple bombs in there, though, so be careful. Okay? But if you want one of these, I'd love to get it in your hands, answer some questions for you. All you've got to do is text the word hello. That's it. Just text the word hello. Make sure you get the right phone number. It's 719-341-3900. And if you text that, we're going to send you a link back right away. And as you do that, take 15 seconds, fill out the link. That's like your name, your email, your phone number's already there because we texted you. Just basic information, okay? And then when you go out to the orange shelves in the lobby, I'll be out there. I'll give you one of these, and then you can get it and you have information from us. No big deal at all. We won't sell your information unless they pay me a lot of money. I'm just kidding. I think. Depends on how much they offer us. I'm just saying. Like, it'd be sweet. Anyway, but that's what we do that. And then remember that whoever finds God. Oh, wait. Hold on. I forgot. We have one more commercial for you. Go ahead.
One weekend, 3 couples plus 1 teenager. Couples and their relationships put to the test. All stuck together in a rental property. Who will survive? Cabin fever. Yeah.
This season on Cabin Fever.
I'm Midge.
And I'm Henry.
It's so nice to have the family all together.
I said I wanted space and a cabin with his parents.
We've been married for like a year.
Oh, it's been perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, hard.
You know, before you can build the city, you got to take out the rocks.
And remember to take out the trash.
I mean, it's great to be with family, but it's 3 married couples and me.
3 days.
We're going to be just fine. Just fine. Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be great for our family, and no one's going to get voted off the island.
Let's see.
Listen, Cabin Fever is a brand new series we will start next week.